One of the greatest paradoxes in spiritual life is the concept of letting go. Many of us, consciously or unconsciously, hold onto people, situations, emotions, and ideas, believing that attachment gives our lives meaning and stability. Yet, ancient spiritual traditions teach that true freedom and inner peace come from letting go. Spiritual detachment isn't about indifference or avoiding relationships and responsibilities. Instead, it's about cultivating an inner state of freedom where we are no longer bound by external circumstances or the need to control outcomes. In today's world, where uncertainty and change are constant, learning how to detach is more relevant than ever. In this video, we will explore the spiritual practice of detachment, why it's essential for personal growth, how different traditions approach it, and how we can apply these teachings in our everyday lives. We'll also discuss how letting go can bring us closer to our authentic selves and open us to deeper connections with the world around us. Understanding spiritual detachment. At its core, spiritual detachment is about releasing the need for control and accepting life as it unfolds. This doesn't mean we stop caring about the people or things in our lives. Rather, it means we release our grip on the idea that happiness is dependent on external factors. Many spiritual traditions emphasize detachment as a path to inner peace. In Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths teach that attachment is the root of suffering. Clinging to desires, outcomes, and even our sense of self creates pain, because nothing in life is permanent. Detachment, then, is the antidote to this suffering. In Taoism, the concept of Wu Wei, effortless action, teaches us to live in harmony with the flow of life, rather than constantly trying to force our will onto situations. Similarly, in the teachings of Hinduism, Vairagya is the practice of detaching from the fruits of action. It doesn't mean we stop acting, but rather we let go of the need for specific results, trusting that life will unfold as it should. Example: think of a time when you were overly attached to an outcome, such as getting a job, entering a relationship, or reaching a specific goal. How did that attachment affect your peace of mind? Were you able to enjoy the process, or were you consumed by anxiety and fear of failure? Reflective question: what is one thing in your life that you are currently attached to, and how might releasing that attachment bring you more peace? The illusion of control. One of the reasons we cling so tightly to people, situations, and outcomes is because we believe we can control them. The ego loves certainty, predictability, and power. However, spiritual teachings consistently remind us that control is an illusion. Life is unpredictable, and the more we try to control it, the more we suffer when things don't go according to our plans. In modern psychology, this is sometimes referred to as the illusion of control, where we overestimate our ability to influence events. This illusion creates anxiety, stress, and frustration when reality doesn't align with our expectations. Real-life example: imagine planning a vacation meticulously, only to have the weather turn bad, flights get canceled, or unforeseen issues arise. When we are overly attached to the idea of how things should go, we feel disappointed and frustrated. But if we practice detachment, we can adapt to the situation and even find joy in the unexpected. In the spiritual sense, this same principle applies to all areas of life. We cannot control how others treat us, how circumstances unfold, or even how our own emotions rise and fall. By embracing detachment, we stop fighting against the natural flow of life and begin to accept things as they are, rather than how we want them to be. Reflective question: how does your need for control affect your mental and emotional state? In what areas of your life can you start practicing letting go of control? Detachment in relationships. One of the most challenging areas to practice detachment is in our relationships, whether it's with a partner, family member, or close friend. We often feel that our happiness depends on the presence, behavior, or validation of others. While love and connection are essential to the human experience, spiritual teachings remind us that true love is not about attachment, but about freedom. In Buddhism, the practice of loving kindness metta is about cultivating unconditional love for ourselves and others, without expectation. This type of love is non-possessive. It doesn't seek to control or demand. Similarly, in the Christian tradition, the concept of agape, selfless, divine love, is not about what we get from others, but about offering love freely, without conditions. Key insight: detachment in relationships doesn't mean we withdraw emotionally or stop caring. It means we release the expectation that others are responsible for our happiness. By practicing detachment, we allow others to be who they are, without trying to change or control them. And in doing so, we create space for deeper, more authentic connections. Practical example: imagine being in a relationship where you feel anxious because you want your partner to behave in a certain way, perhaps to show more affection or to meet your emotional needs. This attachment to their actions can create tension and dissatisfaction. By practicing detachment, you shift your focus away from trying to change them and instead cultivate inner peace and self-love, which can actually improve the relationship. Reflective question: in your relationships, how can you begin practicing detachment while still showing love and care? How to cultivate detachment in daily life. Detachment isn't something that happens overnight. It's a practice that requires patience, self-awareness, and a willingness to let go of old patterns. Here are some practical steps to begin cultivating detachment in your daily life. Mindful awareness. The first step to detachment is becoming aware of where you are attached. This can be done through mindfulness practices, where you observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Pay attention to situations where you feel particularly invested in an outcome or reliant on external validation. Ask yourself, why am I attached to this? What do I fear losing? Shift your focus. Often, we become attached because we are focused on the outcome rather than the process. Whether it's a goal, a relationship, or a task, shift your focus from the result to the experience itself. By doing this, you can begin to enjoy life as it unfolds, without the constant pressure of needing things to go a certain way. Practice gratitude. Gratitude helps us let go of the need for more. When we are grateful for what we already have, we release the constant craving for something different or better. Gratitude grounds us in the present moment, allowing us to appreciate life as it is, rather than how we wish it would be. Release the need for validation. One of the biggest attachments we have is to the opinions of others. We seek approval and validation from those around us, and this attachment can dictate our actions. Practice releasing the need for external validation by affirming your own worth. You are enough, regardless of what others think. Embrace impermanence. Everything in life is temporary. Our experiences, our relationships, even our emotions. By meditating on the impermanence of life, we can begin to loosen our attachments and embrace change as a natural part of existence. This doesn't mean we stop caring, but that we learn to flow with life's transitions without clinging. Real life example. A person who is overly attached to their career might constantly fear losing their job or not being promoted. This attachment creates stress and anxiety. By practicing detachment, they can focus on doing their best work without being fixated on external recognition or outcomes, finding peace in the process itself. Reflective question. What is one area of your life where you can start shifting your focus from outcome to process? Comparing detachment across spiritual traditions. Let's take a closer look at how different spiritual traditions approach detachment. Buddhism. As mentioned earlier, detachment is a central teaching in Buddhism. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of all suffering, and the path to enlightenment involves letting go of desires and expectations. This is achieved through practices like meditation and mindfulness, which help to quiet the mind and detach from the constant stream of thoughts and cravings. Stoicism. In Stoic philosophy, detachment is key to living a virtuous and peaceful life. The Stoics taught that we should focus on what is within our control, our own actions and responses, and accept what is outside of our control, such as the actions of others or the outcome of events. By cultivating this kind of detachment, we can remain calm and centered in the face of life's challenges. Christian mysticism. In Christian mysticism, detachment is about surrendering to God's will. It is the process of letting go of our personal desires and trusting in the divine plan. This detachment leads to a deeper union with the divine, as we relinquish our need to control and allow ourselves to be guided by a higher power. Reflective question. Which of these spiritual teachings resonates most with your understanding of detachment? How can you incorporate these ideas into your daily practice? The freedom of letting go. Letting go is not about losing. It's about gaining freedom. When we release our attachments to outcomes, to control, to the opinions of others, we open ourselves to a deeper peace and a more authentic way of living. Detachment allows us to. Letting go is not about losing. It's about gaining freedom. When we release our attachments to outcomes, control, or the opinions of others, we create space for peace, clarity, and alignment with our true selves. What are you ready to let go of? Share your thoughts in the comments and tell us how embracing detachment can open new doors in your life. If you found this message meaningful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a little more freedom in their life.